This story began in Burkina Faso. It started with a quiet resolve, a determination whispered in the halls of power, a plan to build, to create, to innovate, with tools forged from its own soil and spirit. This is the genesis of something revolutionary. The air in Ouagadougou crackles with an energy that is both ancient and new. A new chapter is being written, not with ink, but with fire and steel. The unveiling of the LX70 is a declaration that the future of Africa's security will be decided in Africa. This is where our story truly begins. Beneath a simple tarp lies the culmination of immense effort and unwavering belief. The world is about to see what Africa can build. The LX70 is not merely a collection of armor plates and weaponry, it is a symbol. It stands as a monument to a nation's refusal to remain a passive consumer in the global arms market. For decades, Burkina Faso, like many of its neighbors, has been caught in a cycle of dependency. It has had to rely on foreign suppliers for the tools needed to protect its borders and its people. This reliance often came with political strings attached, with delays, and with equipment ill-suited for the harsh realities of the Sahel. The LX70 shatters that cycle. It is a declaration of economic and strategic independence, a bold move towards self-sufficiency. This vehicle carries the weight of history on its chassis. It represents a break from a colonial past and a neo-colonial present where Africa's security was outsourced. Building an armored vehicle from the ground up is a monumental task. It requires a sophisticated industrial base, a skilled workforce, and immense political will. By achieving this, Burkina Faso is not just building a fighting machine, it is building national capacity. It is investing in its own people, its own engineers, and its own future. This is a story of empowerment, where a nation takes control of its own destiny, one welded seam at a time. Think of the psychological impact. For a soldier on the front lines, fighting insurgents in a vast and unforgiving landscape, equipment is life. Using a vehicle built by your own countrymen, designed for your specific environment, instills a different kind of confidence. It is a morale booster that cannot be imported. It tells every soldier, every citizen, that their nation has the ingenuity and the strength to stand on its own. This is not just about defending territory. It is about defending national pride, proving to the world, and more importantly, to themselves, that they are masters of their own fate. The stakes for Burkina Faso could not be higher. The nation is locked in a brutal fight against extremist groups that threaten to destabilize the entire region. The security landscape is fluid, asymmetric, and deadly. In this context, the ability to produce and maintain your own military hardware is not a luxury. It is a strategic imperative. It means faster repairs, customized modifications, and a supply chain that cannot be severed by international politics. The LX70 is, therefore, a critical piece in a larger puzzle of national survival, a game-changer in a conflict where the old rules no longer apply. The story of the LX70 does not exist in a vacuum. Its creation sends ripples across the entire African continent. It is a powerful echo of a wider, growing ambition. From Nigeria's defense industry to South Africa's established arms sector, nations are increasingly looking inward for solutions. The era of unquestioning reliance on Western or Eastern military aid is fading. A new philosophy is taking hold: African solutions for African problems. The LX70 is the latest and perhaps one of the most potent symbols of this Pan-African movement towards strategic autonomy and defense industrialization. It is a benchmark for others to aspire to. This shift is born from hard-earned experience. African nations have learned that foreign-supplied weapons often come with limitations. They may be too complex, too difficult to maintain in harsh climates, or simply unsuited for the nature of local conflicts. The fight in the Sahel is not a conventional war. It is a battle for control of vast, arid spaces against mobile, ideologically driven insurgent groups. It requires equipment that is rugged, reliable, and adaptable. The LX70 is the embodiment of this design philosophy, a machine built not for a European battlefield, but for the specific challenges of Africa's modern wars. The unveiling in Ouagadougou serves as a powerful message to the international community. It challenges the skepticism that has long surrounded African industrial and technological capabilities. For too long, the continent has been viewed as a recipient of technology, not a creator of it. The LX70 directly confronts this prejudice. It demonstrates that with vision and investment, African nations can develop and manufacture sophisticated military systems. This is more than just a point of pride. It is a strategic signal that the geopolitical landscape is shifting, and Africa is carving out a new role for itself as a producer, not just a consumer. Ultimately, this is a story about sovereignty. True sovereignty is not just about having a flag and a seat at the United Nations. It is about the ability to make independent decisions, especially when it comes to national security. By developing the LX70, Burkina Faso is reinforcing its sovereignty in the most tangible way possible. It is asserting its right to defend itself with tools of its own making. This single vehicle, therefore, becomes a beacon of hope and a model for other nations striving to break free from the chains of dependency. It is the beginning of a new armor for Africa's independence. Anticipation hangs heavy in the air. The tarp veils the LX70, separating dependency from self-reliance. The crowd is united in stillness, eyes fixed on the shrouded form. Soldiers pull the covering away, revealing the machine piece by piece. The sharp lines of the armored hull are engineered to deflect enemy fire. It is rugged, functional, and unapologetically brutal in its design. What stands before them is a testament to Burkina Faso ingenuity. Its imposing turret is mounted with a heavy machine gun. Applause erupts from the crowd, a release of hope and national pride. They are showcasing their own creation. The reveal is complete. A new icon of African strength has been born. As the excitement settles, the focus shifts to the LX70's capabilities. It's a weapon system scrutinized with intense interest. Its high ground clearance and robust all-terrain tires signal a machine built for rough landscapes. The armor, a locally developed composite, offers maximum protection against small arms fire, RPGs, and IEDs. The V-shaped hull deflects explosions, increasing survivability. Armed for counterinsurgency, its turret-mounted weapon suppresses enemy positions. Designed for simplicity and field maintenance, it prioritizes practicality. Equipped with advanced communications, it allows coordination over distances. The LX70 proves homegrown innovation can be both tough and intelligent. The static display is one thing. The demonstration of its power is another entirely. The crowd is ushered back as a crew of elite soldiers board the LX70. For a moment, the machine sits silent. Then, with a deep guttural cough, the engine ignites. It is a thunderous, earth-shaking roar. It executes a series of maneuvers with surprising agility. The turret swivels smoothly, tracking its objective, and then the deafening chatter of the heavy machine gun erupts, striking the targets with brutal accuracy. It proves that the LX70 is a fully operational, combat-ready platform designed and built by Africans for Africa's defense. It is a deep, resonant roar of approval from the crowd. They have witnessed the birth of a new capability. This roar from the people is the true sound of a nation's spirit being awakened. The LX70 represents the armor of sovereignty itself. A nation must defend its own borders and interests. By building its own armored vehicle, Burkina Faso is claiming its right to self-determination. This machine is a moving fortress of national will. The LX70 has now entered the pantheon of national identity, a symbol of resilience. It tells a story of innovation over desperation. This vehicle will patrol as an emblem of Burkina Faso pride. When a nation produces its own military hardware, it gains control over its entire defense posture. This autonomy is priceless. The LX70 is a declaration that the nation is a serious actor. It is the foundation of a new defense doctrine built on self-reliance. This project elevates the nation's status. True independence is forged in the fires of necessity. For generations, African security has been a story of dependency, decisions made in foreign capitals. African nations were consumers, waiting for outdated equipment. This created a cycle of reliance. The LX70 represents a powerful severing of these chains, an act of liberation. By developing domestic manufacturing, Burkina Faso escapes this trap. The supply chain begins and ends within its borders. Instead of sending millions overseas, that capital is now invested at home, an economic engine. When you are forced to solve your own problems, you become a creator. The LX70 is proof of the nation's talent and determination. The introduction of a domestically produced armored vehicle fundamentally alters the psychology of power within the nation. For soldiers, this is a profound morale booster, instilling a deeper sense of ownership and pride. This extends to the entire population, giving citizens a renewed sense of hope and security. The LX70 is a promise made real, a promise that the state is strong and committed to defending its people. Externally, the LX70 demonstrates a new level of military seriousness, acting as a powerful deterrent. It presents a new image, an African army, equipped with African technology, standing strong on African soil. The LX70 is a new psychological weapon in the fight for a truly independent Africa. The story of the LX70 is a story of breaking from the past. For decades, Burkina Faso's military history was written in foreign ink. Its armories were filled with equipment from across the globe: French panhards, Brazilian cascaves, South African Caspirs. This reality shaped the army, an inheritance from the colonial era. Training, doctrine, and equipment all came from abroad, creating a deep dependence. The decision to build the LX70 was a political act of defiance, to seize control of the nation's destiny. The price of depending on others for security is far higher than the sticker price. It is a cost paid in strategic freedom and ultimately in blood. The equipment available is rarely designed for the unique battlefields of the Sahel. Vehicles designed for the plains of Europe get bogged down in the sands of West Africa. This mismatch puts soldiers' lives at unnecessary risk. Furthermore, the pipeline for foreign arms is long and unpredictable. Then there is the issue of maintenance and sustainability. Foreign-made vehicles are black boxes, creating a new form of dependency. The nation was renting its security, not owning it. This model was fundamentally unsustainable and strategically crippling. The leadership in Burkina Faso recognized this stark reality. The only way to win the war was to first win the battle for industrial independence. The LX70 marks a new path from consumer to producer. This required national mobilization, establishing workshops and training welders and engineers. It meant seeking knowledge and machinery. This was a long-term investment to build a future. This new chapter is defined by local ownership. Burkinabe engineers embed their knowledge of local conditions into the vehicle's DNA. This intimate understanding leads to a superior product, purpose-built for its environment. This level of customization no foreign supplier could offer. This marks a turning point, from dependence to independence. It is about building a nation that can stand on its own. The LX70 is the first step on this long road. At the heart of the LX70's design, the survival of its crew. It is a meticulously engineered defensive system, conceived with the specific threats of the Sahel in mind. The primary danger is the improvised explosive device, the IED. To counter this, the LX70 features a prominent V-shaped hull, deflecting the blast away from the vehicle. The armor itself is a locally developed composite solution, a layered defense designed to absorb energy. Every angle and surface on the LX70 is a calculated defensive measure. The seating inside is designed to mitigate the shock of a blast. The LX70 is more than just an armored box, it is a comprehensive survival cell. An armored vehicle that cannot move is just a tomb. The LX70 excels in mobility and firepower, making it the tip of the spear. Its robust engine is chosen for reliability and torque, powering it through difficult terrain. The engine's simplicity allows for field repairs, high ground clearance and all-terrain tires provide off-road capability. Large fuel reserves allow for long patrols. The LX70 brings decisive firepower with a turret-mounted heavy machine gun or cannon. Firing ports create a 360-degree field of defensive fire. It's a mobile fortress that can deliver a punishing response from any direction. While its steel armor and powerful guns provide the muscle, the LX70's true technical edge lies in its brain, the integration of modern technology. This is not a relic of a past era. It is a fighting machine designed for the networked battlefield of the 21st century. At its core is a sophisticated and secure communications suite. This system allows the crew to maintain constant, encrypted contact with their command headquarters, with other vehicles, and with dismounted infantry units. This seamless flow of information is what enables coordinated action, turning a group of individual vehicles into a cohesive and deadly fighting force that can execute complex tactical plans. Situational awareness is another key technological focus. The LX70 is designed to be fitted with a range of sensors, including day and night vision cameras that give the crew a clear view of their surroundings, regardless of the conditions. This lets them detect threats from a distance, long before those threats can engage the vehicle. The commander's station can be equipped with a digital mapping system and a battle management display, providing real-time information on friendly and enemy positions. This is a level of battlefield intelligence that transforms the crew from mere passengers into informed tactical decision-makers, significantly enhancing their effectiveness. The vehicle's architecture is deliberately modular. This is a forward-thinking design choice that ensures the LX70 will remain relevant for years to come. As new technologies emerge, they can be easily integrated into the existing platform. A new sensor package, an upgraded communications system, or even a remote-controlled weapon station can be added without a complete redesign of the vehicle. This adaptability makes the LX70 a long-term investment, a platform that can evolve to meet the threats of tomorrow. It also allows for the creation of specialized variants, such as command vehicles, ambulances, or reconnaissance platforms, all based on the same reliable chassis. Finally, the technology within the LX70 is chosen for its ruggedness and user-friendliness. In the high-stress environment of combat, complex systems can become a liability. The interfaces within the vehicle are designed to be intuitive, allowing soldiers to operate them effectively with minimal training. The electronics are hardened to withstand the shock, vibration, and extreme temperatures of the operational environment. This focus on practical, reliable technology ensures that the vehicle's advanced capabilities are an asset, not a burden, to the soldiers who depend on them. The LX70 proves that homegrown innovation can be both sophisticated and brutally effective, a smart beast built for a tough fight. Foreign military vehicles often fail in Africa, not for lack of quality, but because they're built for different worlds. The Sahel is a harsh, relentless environment, searing heat, abrasive sand, and unforgiving terrain. The LX70 was born here, designed to survive where others break down. Oversized cooling and robust filtration keep it running in the dust and heat. Every seal and lubricant is chosen for extreme conditions. High ground clearance and tough suspension let it cross rocky, roadless expanses. In a region where breakdowns mean disaster, this reliability is a strategic edge. The LX70 is Africa's steel tortoise, slow, steady, and unstoppable. It's not just made in Africa, it's made of Africa, shaped by the land it defends. This is the machine for the Sahel. Tough, enduring, and perfectly at home. Africa's wars are asymmetric. Insurgents, not armies, are the enemy. The LX70 isn't a tank killer. It's built to outlast ambushes and IEDs. Its 360-degree awareness and armored viewports spot threats before they strike. When attacked, it becomes a mobile fortress. Turret and firing ports keep enemies at bay. It safely delivers troops into hostile territory, supporting them with firepower. This synergy between vehicle and infantry is the core of modern counterinsurgency. The LX70 lets forces patrol longer, respond faster, and hold ground. It's built for presence and persistence, not glory charges. In the long, grinding fight for security, reliability, and endurance win. The LX70 is the backbone of a nation's fight for its future. The LX70's debut is a symbol of Africa's new self-reliance. Across the continent, nations are moving from importing to inventing. True independence means building your own security. The LX70 proves African ingenuity can meet African challenges. Countries like Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa are joining this movement. Burkina Faso's achievement inspires others. African solutions for African problems. Homegrown defense industries mean tools tailored to local needs. The LX70 is both inspiration and blueprint for neighbors. It shows that with focus and will, self-reliance is possible. This is the dawn of a secure, sovereign Africa, defended by its own hands. The LX70's creation sends ripples across West Africa. Neighbors see a new model, local production, regional trade, and shared expertise. Intra-African defense partnerships grow, keeping capital and knowledge on the continent. Engineers and ideas cross borders, building a network of African capability. This challenges the old order of dependency on foreign arms. African nations gain leverage, negotiating from strength, not need. For young Africans, the LX70 is proof. They can innovate and lead. It shatters old narratives of inferiority and dependency. The LX70 is more than a vehicle. It's a seed of confidence and ambition. Its impact will echo far beyond the battlefield, inspiring generations. The LX70's greatest impact is psychological. For soldiers, it's proof their lives matter. Protected by homegrown technology, fighting in a machine built by their own people boosts morale and pride. The nation sees strength and ingenuity, not just struggle. This pride unites and empowers, making the population more resilient. The project redefines what's possible, inspiring future engineers and innovators. It proves Burkina Faso can solve its own problems. The LX70 is a declaration of self-determination, a nation taking the wheel. No longer passive, Burkina Faso is forging its own path. This new psychology of power and pride is the project's most lasting legacy. The LX70 changes the region's deterrence equation. Insurgents can no longer exploit the weaknesses of outdated foreign vehicles. The V-shaped hull and mobility make ambushes and IEDs less effective. The real threat is now a factory, a production line that can replace losses. This industrial capacity signals endurance. The state can outlast any attrition. Burkina Faso's self-reliance earns respect and stronger alliances. The LX70 project's seriousness and capability, deterring aggression. With a reliable fleet, the army can go on the offensive, holding ground, disrupting threats. Deterrence now comes from active control, not just passive threat. The LX70 is the tool that makes this new strategy possible. The unveiling of the LX70 in global defense media and Western policy circles was met with silence. This silence, a deliberate choice, attempts to render the achievement insignificant. When broken, it was replaced by skepticism. Analysts questioned the steel, engine, and local input. This skepticism reveals a bias, the inability to comprehend innovation from a perceived aid recipient. It protects the established order of the global arms industry. It challenges the idea that African nations can't solve their own problems. The LX70's value isn't in technical specs, but in national pride and strategic independence. While the West focuses on details, Burkina Faso builds its future. Its voice will be heard loud and clear on the battlefields of the Sahel. The LX70's vision extends beyond Burkina Faso, promising regional transformation. Facing shared threats like violent extremism and porous borders, neighbors across the Sahel use mismatched foreign equipment. The LX70 offers a battle-proven solution. Exporting it means exporting self-reliance. Nations like Mali or Niger could turn to Burkina Faso for climate and terrain-adapted vehicles. It's an African solution, fostering partnership and shared purpose. Exporting the LX70 transforms it into a revenue source, reinvesting in production and jobs. This solidifies independence and national prosperity. It delivers a symbol, African nations controlling their security. The LX70, a vehicle for a secure, sovereign continent built by and for Africans. The export of the LX70 is the first step toward building a new kind of African alliance, cemented by shared steel and common supply chains. When nations operate the same core military platform, it creates a foundation for interoperability. Joint training becomes more meaningful, and shared maintenance hubs become possible. Presenting a more unified front against transnational threats, it builds trust from the soldier in the workshop to the general in the command center. Furthermore, this creates a regional bloc with greater influence. A group of African nations that can collectively produce and maintain their own armored vehicles is a force to be reckoned with. It is the armor of alliance, protecting their collective sovereignty. It represents the transition to a Pan-African icon, inspiring and equipping a continent. to become the shared armor of a new, more unified, and powerfully independent Africa. The story of the LX70, from its conception in the minds of Burkinabe planners to its thunderous debut on the parade grounds of Ouagadougou, is more than the story of a machine. It is the story of a continent finding its footing, of a people reclaiming their narrative. This vehicle, forged in local fire and steel, is a direct refutation of the belief that Africa must look outward for its strength. It is, in the most literal sense, Africa's new armor, protecting not just its soldiers, but its very sovereignty. This project has proven that innovation is not bound by geography. The LX70 is a tool perfectly honed for its environment, a weapon shaped by the realities of the Sahelian battlefield. It carries within its armored hull the resolve and the aspirations of a nation that refused to be defined by its challenges. The journey of this vehicle is a beacon for the entire continent. It's Africa's new armor of sovereignty, a symbol of a future where African nations are the primary guarantors of their own peace and stability. The world has been put on notice. A new power is rising, and it is building its own protection. The LX70's engine is the sound of a new era, breaking chains of dependency that have tied Africa's security to foreign nations. It silences skepticism, showcasing tangible achievement. The LX70 is a correction to the narrative of an Africa that couldn't. Its wheels carry national pride and continental hope, tracing a path to sovereign strength. This machine fulfills the promise that Burkina Faso will protect its people with its own tools. Burkina Faso proved doubters wrong, demonstrating resolve to control their destiny. It's proof that independence is a prize to be won. This is Insight Africa, where independence rides on its own wheels.